Hey guys, so I've had a few people ask for a follow-up on my auto service rant video in regards to whether or not the dealership has fixed my car and my girlfriend's car. Well, they did. They fixed my girlfriend's car. They got it to where the door closes perfectly with no problems. They gave her a new loaner car. They gave her a Nissan Altima to drive for a couple of days and had hers back to her. Mine, on the other hand, mine's taken a little bit longer. Mine took about 3 weeks. They had to go into the seat and take the foam out, and they had to rebuild it. They had to order new parts. They replaced a bunch of the pillars and things like that in the car for the other rattles. They detailed it up, cleaned it good. You know, you got to remember when they're doing warranty work that they do have to go to the manufacturer. In this case, it was Chrysler. So they had to go to Chrysler and say, hey, this is the problem, what can we do next? So I do understand it was a lengthy process. Fortunately, Kevin Dry, the general manager at Kim's Dodge here, was nice enough to give me the keys to a brand new 2017 that I ended up doing a review on in my other video. So I was able to drive that 2017 Challenger for a few weeks while mine was getting fixed. But here's what happened. Well, every time I would go to the dealership, I had to pass this car on the lot. It was this green car that was sitting there that every time I passed by, I would look at and I was like, man, I like that. Well, after driving the 2017 and realizing how much I did enjoy having a Challenger, I do enjoy the space. I enjoy the look of the Challenger. But with mine, I realized that I wanted to add a few things. I wanted the spoiler. I wanted the 20-inch rims and all that good stuff. I started doing the numbers in my head and was like, okay, I want to tint the windows, put the big radio in, the spoiler, the rims. By the time I did all that, I'm looking at like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of upgrades. So I decided to try to make a deal. So it just so happens that the day they called me to pick up my car, I already had an appointment scheduled to meet with the general manager and one of the salesmen about a car that I had spotted on the lot. Well, as it turns out, we were able to make a deal, and this is what I'm driving now. Dodge Challenger RT Super Track Pack, 5.7 liter, 375 horsepower V8 Hemi motor, 400 foot-pounds of torque, 8-speed automatic, paddle shifters, tinted windows, not to mention it has the Hellcat hood on it, which I love. And this is one of those throwback colors, the Sublime Green from the 70s. Now, Kevin at Kim's was nice enough to hook me up. He knew I had had so much trouble with my car, I'd been waiting so long for my car, that he ended up selling me this car at wholesale price. And I want to give him a big shout out and a big thank you. And so if anyone's looking for a 2016 Dodge Challenger SXT with a V6 that just had a bunch of work done to it and is good to go, mine that I traded in is now up at Kim's Dodge, and Kevin will make you a great deal on it. Also need to give a shout out to John Anderson. Super helpful, super nice guy. He's the salesman over at the used side of the dealership. So be sure to go and ask for John about the 2016 SXT V6. Also, the car that I did the previous review on, the 2017 SXT Plus, they've got it back up there for sale. They got a bunch of rebates and stuff going on right now. Thanks again to Kim's No Bull, Kevin Dry, general manager, and John Anderson, super helpful salesman. They worked together to get me what I wanted. They went through the process of giving me a loaner car while they worked on mine, and then we ended up making a deal anyway. That's how you do things. That's what's up. So we'll go ahead and take this baby on a test drive. All right, so these cars do have the upgraded sport suspension. It sits about 1.5 inches lower than your regular V6s. Now, some people say that these cars ride rough with the sport suspension, but here's the thing. The whole point of a sport suspension is to not have as much like floatiness and bounce. It's gonna feel like it's hitting bumps harder, and that's because it is. Because guess what? When you're doing 140 miles an hour, the last thing you wanna do is feel like you're floating down the interstate. All right, so just got on the interstate. We're gonna catch up to traffic real quick. So from 30 to 75, like, yeah, just a few seconds. It's pretty fast. Another nice feature that you get when you upgrade to the Uconnect 8.4 radio, you get all the voice commands. Set temperature to 72 degrees.
Setting the driver temperature to 72 degrees.
That to me, that's just fun. I like that. All right, I appreciate you guys tuning back in. It's not really an in-depth review. I just wanted to throw some things out there. To summarize real quick, 2015 Dodge Challenger Hemi, 5.7 liter, 375 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60, and I don't know. Comes with the 8.4-inch Uconnect system. You got GPS, you got voice commands, you got launch control, you got performance pages, you got sport modes, you got cruising modes, you got all that junk. You got paddle shifters, you got an 8-speed automatic transmission. I have no idea what kind of rear end it has in it, but I know it's fun to drive. I know it's got the good suspension, and I'm gonna get back to doing what I love most, which is actually driving. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next video. And again, be sure to give a shout out to Kim's Dodge in Laurel, Mississippi for hooking me up with some awesome cars. And be sure to mention that Tim from YouTube sent you, and they'll give you a really good deal, and they'll give me a little credit on the side. Thanks, guys.